I got my first singles win this last weekend in what feels like forever. And once again, in one of these matches, I found myself down 0-2 in a race to 3, where I had to win 3 straight to get the win. I feel like every tournament I go to these days, I find myself having to come back from behind. And this is a problem I gotta fix. So in this one, guys, I just want to do a small little recap of that tournament and also just give an update on where my darts are at and what I'm working on and some upcoming tournaments I'm looking forward to. But first, if you're not subscribed, please make sure to hit that subscribe button before you go. Drop the video a thumbs up. Check out BullshotDarts.com where you can pick up some Bullshot Apparel and MagicWear.com where you can pick up the Bullshot Darts jersey. Links for those will be down below. All right, guys, let's talk about this tournament. So first things first, I want to give a big shout out to the Windy City Darters because they put on this tournament, and it's always really exciting when we get tournaments around here because we just don't get too many of them. And the fact that it was all cricket made it that much more fun because cricket is something that we definitely don't get around here too often. Big shout out to them. The tournament was awesome, ran great. And also too, what was fun is that they decided to switch up the formats a little bit, which was really cool. Usually when you go to a cricket tournament, it's gonna be a quick best of 3, but for the singles, it was best of 5, which I thought was awesome because everyone got to get in a lot of darts. But then also too, the doubles format was one of the craziest things I'd ever played in my life, and I'll be talking about that more in a little bit. So let's talk about the singles event first. I was really excited about this because it was best of 5, and I always like when something is better than best of 3 because best of 3 just happens so quick. Overall, my darts were pretty good. I ended with a 3.79 on the day for my darts, which I was pretty happy about because this was the first time that I had played cricket coming out of this slump, so I wasn't too sure how it would go, and I know that my O numbers are back to where they used to be, but cricket just being a different game, you know, you just never know. So I was happy that my cricket darts were still there too. Although I would rather be up above the 4s, I was still pretty happy with a 3.8, and I did have a match or two where I was at a 4 or higher that I was pretty excited about. So I ended up playing Trevor in the semifinals, and this is the match that I got my comeback in. Trevor jumped out to a quick 2-0 lead on me. He was playing very aggressive and very confident and just hitting everything. He was back closing my numbers while I still had point leads. He was putting me in very uncomfortable situation. And it's been a while since I had played cricket in general, let alone playing against someone with that strategy. So it put me in uncomfortable positions and made me have to adjust my strategy moving forward. So Trevor won the first 2 legs, then I won the next 2 legs to tie it up at 2-2. So now we go to the sudden death leg. And in this game, I opened up with a 5 mark, followed it by a 7 mark, and then back-to-back 9 marks. So I went 5, 7, 9, 9. So I've only gone back-to-back 9 marks in cricket maybe 2 times, but then to have a 7 mark in there too, so 8 out of 9 darts that I had hit triples. So I was really happy about that. That was probably the best little streak I've ever had in cricket. And thankfully, it was enough to give me a good lead and put me in driving position to win the match, which I ended up doing. So once again, another comeback win. I feel like this is just becoming a thing when I go out to tournaments. I just keep finding myself fighting from behind. I don't like it. I guess thankfully it's working out sometimes, but not all the time. I really need to figure out how to come out strong, establish a lead, and then finish strong without having to make it a comeback because I don't want to keep going down right away. But that's the position I keep finding myself in, is that I'll find myself losing the beginning, maybe not throwing as good, or my opponent's throwing really well and bringing me down. And then I just have this mindset shift of just relax, you're trying too hard, and then I throw, and then I'm able to put some stuff together. So I really just need to work on coming out strong and then just finishing strong at the same time. And this has kind of always been a struggle for me. I would rather have it this way than the other way because I have had streaks where I would come out very strong, and then about midway through the match is when I fall apart and then I give away the match. So I guess I would rather have the comebacks than that, but still it's all about the consistency. So that was it for the singles cricket. I was happy I got the win for that. And then also too, I won this little 50-50 raffle. So they announced that the pot was gonna be $111. And I said, hey, that's my lucky number and my birthday. My birthday is 11/1, November 1st. So 30 seconds after I said that was my lucky number and my birthday, they called my ticket number. So I ended up winning that too. So that was pretty cool. And then that led us into the doubles here. And the doubles format, like I said, it was one of the craziest things that I have been a part of because whenever I had played cricket, it was always about, oh, I was hoping to get that 180 there. It was always just regular cricket with points. But what they did is it was a best of 3. One leg was regular cricket with points. So, I mean, your basic cricket with points. Another one was called straight cricket, where you start at the 20s and you have to go in order and close down to the 15s, then the bullseyes. So you have to go 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15 bowl in that order. So let's say you're throwing at that triple 20 with your first dart and you accidentally hit a triple 18. That triple 18 does not count because you have to close those 20s first and then the 19. So that was really interesting because I had never played that before. Even when I had played cricket where you just have to close numbers, I never played in order. We always just kind of closed as we went. So that was a fun one. And then the other one was called, I think, drop 10 cricket. And this is the same exact premise as cricket, you know, with points, except the only difference is that you're throwing at numbers 5 through 10, and then the bullseye, single bullseye is worth 15, double bullseye is worth 25. So that game is really interesting because one, you're throwing just at way different numbers that you usually don't throw at, but two, if you have like a 20 or 30 point lead in regular cricket, that's really not that much. That's only 2 marks. But this game, if you get down to the 5s, a 30-point lead is huge. So it's really interesting because you really got to think about that part of the game. You might think you have a good lead, but you don't, or you think you might not have a good lead, but you actually do. I don't know. It was just a very interesting format, but I really had a good time playing these different kinds of cricket. And then in doubles cricket, me and Trevor lost to Brian Fenlon and John McCreary. It all came down to the straight cricket where you had to close in order. We had a good 2 matches with cricket points, but when it came down to that, they won the cork, and I want to say Fenlon opened up with the trip 20 and a trip 19. So they were already on 18s when I came up for those 20s, and I think I only hit 2. So we got buried right away because I'm pretty sure John came up after that and tripped to 18 and 17s. So they just whooped us in that game, and then that was the end of the night. I was able to come home, which was fine because I ordered a bunch of food and ate. Me and Mrs. Bullshot are running the Chicago Marathon next week, so we've been carving up and running a lot. So not too mad that we lost and got out of there a little early. So that's it for the tournament, guys. Now as far as upcoming tournaments I'm looking forward to, so not this coming weekend because I do have the marathon, but the week after that is the next DPC event. And I have not been a big fan of these DPC events because like I said, they change it to round robin and I'm just not the biggest fan of that. But I do need to play these because I want to qualify for the finals. And also too, since I'm finally feeling good again on the dartboard, I need to take advantage of as many tournaments as I can to try to hold on to this momentum. So I got that coming up in 2 weeks. Excited about that. And then other than that, there's really not too much coming up until November, but I do have a couple Booyah Cup qualifiers I do want to play. If you guys watched some of my videos last year, I talked about the Booyah Cup qualifier. It is a huge event that Jeremy Byrne from Bullshot Darts puts on, and I already think it's one of the biggest soft tip events we have in the country. And I don't think it's going to be long before it is the biggest and most prestigious soft tip tournament we do have here in the country. So he's doing really big things and I want to be a part of it. So I want to start playing those more, get some ranking points, and then I can hopefully qualify for that next year. All right, guys, that's it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. Some videos should have popped up over here. Click one, click them both. BullshotDarts.com for Bullshot Apparel, MagicWear.com for the official Bullshot Darts jersey. Drop the video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys next time, and shoot well.